गुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपीश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज भगवद गीता की जय। So I will share my presentation now.
Hello, why do you spin that?
All right. Let me know if you see the chapter 1 recap.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. So before starting speaking about it, I will also seek blessing from the devotees, from my spiritual master, from Srila Prabhupada and all the parampara. Yes, so we finished chapter 1. It's a brief recap. We saw two sections. First section was Sanya Nirikshan Yoga, which is how the different military arrangement was arranged on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. This is a discussion where Duryodhana is going and observing the armies on the both sides. He's telling the name of different great generals on each side, and then that's like he's estimating the strength of the both sides. So it was estimated 11 Akshoni were on the side of the Kauravas and 7 were on the side of the Pandavas. So, and also there were much more experienced generals on the side of Kauravas. They had Bhishma, Drona, like that, Kripacharya. Whereas this side Bhima was powerful but was not as experienced as Bhishma Dev. And then like this was further divided preparations for war, like how different people are blowing their conch shells. So we have the conch shell for Arjuna as the Devdatta, Krishna is Bhima is Pondraka, Krishna is I forgot Krishna's. Anybody remember Krishna's name of the conch shell of Krishna? Panchjanya. Yeah,
Panchajanya.
Panchjanya. Yeah, that's the demon he killed and he got that name. It was there on the demon's head, so it's Panchajanya. And then there were different signs of victory of Pandavas were discussed. So I believe around 10 or 11 reasons why Pandavas will be victorious was discussed. One of the main reason was Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas. So if Krishna is there, Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna, Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shriya, like wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Arjuna, there is Lakshmi, there is a goddess of fortune. Goddess of fortune means the fortune is also on your side now. And there Hanumanji was there on their side as well. Hanumanji participated in the battle of Lord Ram, where, and this time he is participating by sitting on the flag of Arjuna. He was making lot of war cries and he was creating fear in the heart of the enemy side. And w- anybody remember any other reason? No? Somebody like to add the reasons why Pandavas will be victorious? Because Dharma was on their side, right?
Battle was happening in Kurukshetra, which is
That was the place of war was Kurukshetra, which is Dharma Kshetra, right? Favorable place. So time is favorable, right? Dharma is on your side. God is on your side. God as a fortune is on your side, and then you have like the symbols of the conch shell, right? When they were blowing the conch shell, there was the heart disheartening on the side of the Kauravas. Their hearts were shattered. It is described, and also it is described that the conch shell of Pandavas were transcendental. Like it is said, Krishna blew his transcendental conch shell. Arjuna blew his transcendental conch shell. That was not the case on the other side, right? So like that, there were uh, some of these reasons were there. And then also the chariot that Arjuna had was given by Agnidev, right? So it was capable of conquering all the sides. And that happened when Arjuna pacified, not pacified, satisfied Agnideva by burning the Khandav forest. So that's where he was pleased and provided him this chariot. And then we saw like how Krishna is the, Bhaktavatsala, 21 to 27. Bhaktavatsala is used in a sense that uh, Krishna is protecting devotee, and he is never fail in his affection for his devotee, and never fail in protecting his devotee. So another word used there was Achyuta, one who never falls down. And also another meaning is Achyuta, he never fall down from his position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Also, he does not fail down in protection for his devotee or affection for his devotee. So that part was discussed. Then we discuss, how Arjuna, when he is asking Krishna to bring chariot on the midst of the armies, on the center of the armies, he wanted to see who has assembled there to fight on the sides of Kauravas. So he wanted to observe. He was very curious. So that's where his lamentations start. Like when he started to see his own family members, his own kinsmen, his own grandfathers, people as worshipable as his fathers. Like there were Bhurishava was there, like that. There were so many warriors were there. His grandfather Bhishma was there. Then Matulan, his maternal side uncles were there, like Shakuni and all that, right? Shalya. And then his brothers were there. His sons were there. His grandsons were there. So it was 5 generation standing on the army. And when he saw that, he became compassionate because he did not want to kill his own kinsmen, his own family members. It's a natural affection. He even gave the reason down the line, like uh, how I can. It's better that they kill me instead of me killing them. Let me be killed by them without unarmed. So these were signs of the weakness. Like 5 signs of weakness were presented in chapter 1 and 2. Chapter 1 presented these 4 signs of weakness. First was compassion. Now, compassion is a good quality, as we all know. It's good to be compassionate. It's the symptom of a pure heart. Pure and soft heart is a symptom of compassion, and it's natural for anybody who is devoted to Lord Shri Krishna. And Arjuna, naturally being the friend of Krishna and also the devotee of Lord Krishna, he had this quality. But then, compassion has to be for the soul or for eternity, not for the temporary things, the material body. Here, Arjuna is showing compassion to his material bodies of his different this 5 generations of family members. He's showing compassion for their, like he didn't want to kill them. So that's one reason. Then another reason provided was like how you can enjoy something which is tainted with the blood of your own relatives. When you want to enjoy, like suppose I send you to an island and you are alone there, you have best of the facilities, you have best of the aircraft, best of the Ferrari car, Lamborghini, you have everything you need. You have all kind of food stuff you need to eat, all kind of fancy boats, Armani, whatever, goggles you want, whatever setting, everything you have, what you need, but you don't have anybody to relate to or enjoy with or share your happiness with anybody, then can you enjoy? No, it's difficult. So, and especially on top of that, what to speak of nobody is there when you are seeing the dead bodies of all with whom you want to enjoy, and those being killed by you yourself. Now you can imagine the predicament of Arjuna. So that's why he's like feeling lamentation out of fear of not able to enjoy. And then there is fear of sinful reactions, right? Even if you kill somebody, there is a sinful reaction. War means a lot of killing. It was a huge scale killing, like 18 Akshauhani senas were killed, which is much more than World War I or II. So many people were to be killed. So he did not wanted to bear the the reaction for the sin that will come after killing those so many people. And what to speak of killing your respectable elders like Bhishma, your own spiritual master Dronacharya, right? Your own brothers, your sons, your grandsons. It's very like difficult situation. And then when the elders will be killed, then the family traditions, Kula Dharma, will be destroyed. When Kula Dharma is needed to have the order in the society, so if there will be nobody, no elders to guide the society, then many rituals will stop, which will lead to degradation, which will lead to degradation of the dharma. And the pitras will fall down because there will be no like it was we were discussing last time, right? How they will not pitras, they will not be receiving the food. Who will be there to offer them the food when everybody will be killed? And how the women will become polluted. Like women naturally need protection. When they are young, they need to be protected by their father. When they grown up, they are married, they are taken under the care of their husband. And when they further grow up, they have grown up children. Then and the husband go to Vamprastha or to sannyas, then they are taken care of by their children's, grown up children's. So woman is always protected in Vedic society. Children's are always protected. Brahmanas are always protected. Cows are always protected. That was the culture, that was the society we were living in. And that is the fear of the Arjuna, that all these things will be destroyed. So this in a nutshell summarizes chapter 1. And we see like how Arjuna, when he was having all these I mean concerns, the Gandiva started to slip from his hand. He could no longer hold it. This happens because your heart was so much attached, emotionally attached. He was not capable of holding his bow. And then hairs were standing on his body. Arjuna, he's thinking, how I can enjoy, even if I get kingdom of heaven, I cannot enjoy this when it's, I'm killing my own men. Swajana, Arjuna started using this word Swajana multiple times. He used 3 times this word Swajana. Swajana, Swa means on, Jana means the people. They are my own people. I'm going to kill my own people. How I can kill my own people, right? That's his difficulty. Uh, Earlier, when he was taking Krishna to take his chariot in the center of the battlefield, he was saying, "Oh Krishna, please take my chariot there. I want you to see who has come here to help the unintelligent son of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana." That's how he was addressing. Now his way of addressing is completely changed. He's using the word Swajana. So very very important word. And Arjuna is here thinking that he will be responsible for all this. It's happening. The war is happening because of the Pandavas. That's how he was thinking. Even Yudhishthira Maharaj was thinking like this. So that's natural for a devotee to think like that. But then when it's too much emotional and not considering the higher essence or higher reason why this war was going to happen, this is still on the material level. So with a recap of chapter 1. Now let's go to chapter 2. Before starting, there is a connection between chapter 1 and 2. Now, when we talk of these different chapters, Krishna did not speak like this. Atha prathamo adhyaya, atha dvitiyo adhyaya. He did not speak like that. This is a live conversation going on between Arjuna and Krishna on the battlefield, hardly 45 or 50 minutes. But Acharyas, for us to understand, Acharyas have categorized this conversation into various chapters, into various themes, various sections, so that us dull minded people of Kali Yuga can understand what's there in the Gita. Just a second. So, like we saw, Arjuna presented these four doubts, and then we'll see now in chapter 2, Arjuna will further present his another doubt, like which will be indecision due to compassion and fear of not being able to enjoy alone, fear of sinful reaction and destruction of family tradition. He will be he will not be able to decide like what to do, what is good, to be killed by them or to kill them. He will ask this question in verse 6 of chapter 2. But my idea is we may not go to verse 6. We will cover maybe first 5 verses only. I don't want to rush through because this chapter 2 is like a base for Bhagavad Gita. If you understand chapter 2 nicely, then you will gradually see how the whole Bhagavad Gita is built on the chapter 2, gradually, step by step. So now in the chapter 1, Arjuna is giving various reasons, right? He is giving arguments or logic or reason. But now after he become confused, right? So what did he do? He surrenders to the Supreme. Supreme, who is Krishna. Now his relationship is changing from friend to guru, guru disciple. Earlier he was talking to Krishna on a friendly level. Now he's changed, because when you are like your intelligence is not sane, you're not able to think because of this emotional weakness that he was going through, hridaya daurbalya, as Krishna will describe in the coming verse 2.3 and 2.4. So Arjuna, this is the right thing Arjuna did. He approached Krishna, who is the master of the yoga, the supreme knowledgeable person, the supreme personality of Godhead, as against Kekai, as we see in Ramayana. Kekai had similar situation. Kekai was loving Lord Ram so much so, even Lord Ram was apple of her eye. She was loving Lord Ram more than her own son, Bharat. But then when she heard from Manthara, her intelligence became spoiled. And the same Ram with whom she was loving so much, now she wanted to banish him to the forest. What to speak of not giving him the kingdom, but to banish him to the forest. So the love changed into hatred by hearing from wrong person. The same person which is worshipable for you today become, unworshipable. So here Arjuna, when such situation come, Kekai should have taken shelter of some higher authority. She could have talked to Maharaj Dashrath, right? Or she could have even talked to Ram or to her other elderly queens or other saintly kings. Saints in the kingdom. Like Vashishta was there, but she did not do that. But here Arjuna, in that situation, when our intelligence does not act, like when we all of us, situations will come, when the tough time will come and our intelligence will not help us to decide what is right, what is wrong. That is the time we should seek the guidance from the higher intelligence. So that's what Bhagavad Gita is for, to guide the living entities like us, who will go through this difficult times day by day, time to time, and will have these trying situations. So good and bad people is not just based on how you just see, like temporarily observing somebody, oh, he's very nice, very gentle. No, goodness or badness is observed when you have the tough situation, how you are acting there. Did you choose dharma when the tough time came, or you choose adharma? That will decide whether you are good or bad. It's not just the outwardly qualification, how beautiful look, how strength you are, or how nicely you speak, or how many shlokas you know, how fluent you are. No, your dharma will be tested when you will be through this trying situation, and that's what is happening to Arjuna here. He's under this trial, so that is a link. His relationship is changing from friend to the guru and disciple. Overview of the chapter 2. Now before I go to chapter 2 overview, any questions so far? Am I too fast, too slow, loud, less loud? Please help. Are we getting what I'm talking so far? Are we good?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we are good.
Prabhu, please continue. Prabhu, you are exactly the speed
Yes.
is too speedy. You're not going speed. You're good.
Okay, thank you. So, chapter 2 overview. Chapter 2 is the longest, one of the longest chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, has around 72 verses. And verse 1 to 10, we will see like further how we'll expand on the doubts of the Arjuna, like how we'll see how compassion furthermore in details, and how Krishna sees that compassion from Krishna's vision. Because ultimate authority is Krishna, so we have to see his vision. And then we'll see how Arjuna is surrendering, right? And then next we'll talk about jnana. Now, jnana is also called Jnana Yoga. And I like to do just one thing. Not able to get that control. You still see my screen, right? Uh, where is the control?
Yes.
Where is the control? Okay. Anyhow, I don't see the control I was looking for. So, this Gyan section is analytically, we will see analytical study or Sankhya study. We'll see how the reasons for the fighting, how they are justified or how they are not justified. And then there is a karma kanda. Karma kanda is like material gains or material benefit that you get by following or practicing particular kind of activities. This is the first step toward the atma gyan or the self realization. Then verses 39 to 53 we'll see nishkam karma yoga. There is a sakam karma yoga. There is a desire, and niskam is when you don't desire any result from your work, but you perform the work just as a matter of duty. And the verse 54 to 72 will see the characteristics of sthita pragya. Sthita pragya, pragya means the intelligence. Sthita means whose intelligence is stable or steady intelligence. Now, this jnana section will counter, jnana sections in verse 11 to 30, it will counter the first argument of Arjuna, which is the compassion. Because soul is eternal and body is temporary. So the compassion for soul is right, and the compassion for the body is the ignorance. And whatever sufferings we have is due to this ignorance. When we consider body as all in all and we forget the soul. So the compassion for the body is, it's external. When we talk of compassion for soul, it does not mean just for the spirit soul itself. It means spirit soul as well as spirit soul integrated with the body we live in. So sometimes people accuse us that why you don't do the social service like feeding the people. We do that, but we do feed the food which is needed for the body, but we make how to say, purify the food by offering it to the god, and then we distribute it to the people. So that way we are not only nourishing their body, but we are also nourishing their soul. So so that we'll see in the jnana section, not today, verse 11 to 30. And also further it will be described in verse 31 to 38, that by doing your prescribed duty, if a kshatriya perform the prescribed duty, they gain the kingdom in this world, they enjoy here, right? They have the opulence here. And if they die while following their prescribed duty, then they go to heavenly planets. They enjoy the happiness of the heaven, that's guaranteed if they are fighting on the base of religion. And then further 39 to 53, that's the section nishkam karma. Like I said, nishkam karma, as I already explained, performing an action without desiring the result. This is also called buddhi yoga, or it's very close to the bhakti yoga. That is, you fight with detachment, and So in the case, particular in the case of Arjuna, so if he is fighting for detachment, then there is no reaction. Reaction come when we think I'm doing this particular action. First of all, I am the doer for this action. So if I am the doer, then I should be the enjoyer of this result. So reaction comes then when you have this enjoying mentality, when you have this doer mentality, when you have this proprietor mentality. Krishna will explain, we'll see the peace formula later on during the chapters, how Krishna says you are not the enjoyer. Bhoktaram Yagyatapsam Sarvalok Maheshwara. I am the Bhokta, I am the enjoyer. I am the master of all sacrifices. Like that he will explain. So when living entity enters into arena of Krishna, like we have right over our work. But when we enter the arena of Krishna, the result, Krishna is the giver of the result, which is Krishna's department. We enter into somebody else's department, then problem comes. So we'll expand this concept very much in Bhagavad Gita. You'll see it. This is Bhagavad Gita will very clearly explain chapter 3 onwards, 3, 4. This 3 will explain the Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, then Dhyana Yoga. Like that, gradually it will explain all these concepts of yoga. Yoga means, again, I repeat, is the connection of the soul with the super soul. So these are the different processes we are talking about. So here, coming back to our point, how Arjuna can counter the sinful reactions by detaching himself from the results of his work. So if you detach, if you're working for somebody, for some, I'll give you another example. Like if you are a worker, if you're working for some businessman, so the profit or loss in the business is not directly affecting you because he is paying you the salary, right? But the business owner, he is directly seeing the profit and loss. He is directly getting affected by that because he's considering himself the owner of that business, or he is the owner of the business. But here you are just working for the sake of duty, right? Whatever his desire is there to get the income, he's working for that. So he will be less affected by the profit and loss of the business. Now you have to see it from the point of view of business, not the point of view of particular action. From the point of view of business, the profit and loss of the business will not affect the normal worker or ordinary worker. It will affect the owner of the business or the shareholders of the business. In the same way, when you think Krishna is the master of all my results, or all the actions I perform, all the business I do, Krishna is the owner. So if there is a loss or profit, is Krishna's loss or profit. It's not my loss or profit. If you work with that action and you are not attached to your results of your actions, and neither you are attached to working for particular kind of action or a work, then that is a nishkam karma. And when you connect it to Krishna, like I'm saying, the proprietor here, not the businessman, but the Krishna for all your action, then that is yoga connection. So when you work in this buddhi yoga, people, it's natural to develop the material detachment. It comes very naturally. You don't have to uh, try it something externally. That is the beauty of the buddhi yoga. Because like we see at the end of this chapter, how somebody who is situated in the buddhi yoga is called sthit pragya. Krishna, Arjuna will ask, sthit pragya se ka bhasha? Sthit pragya is like what he speaks, how he sit, how he talk, how he walk, how he acts. Arjuna will ask these questions. So we'll understand deep down there. And now to conclude to this overview, basically here Arjuna is indecisive between two dharmas. One side is Kula Dharma, and another side is the Varna Dharma. Now, Kula Dharma, as a Kula Dharma is described in various Dharma Shastras. There are many Dharma Shastras are there. And those Dharma Shastra also describe the Varna Dharma. According to particular Varna, Varna means, like Ashoka Krishna Prabhu explained in last class, there are 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. I'll repeat it here because there are so many new people in the audience. So Varna, like there are 4 Varnas. So one Varna is Brahmanas. So Brahmana, they have specific duties. Pathan, Pathan, Yajan, Dan, Pratigraha, like that. So they have to perform sacrifice. They have to study the Vedas. They have to distribute the Vedic knowledge. So that is the duty of the Brahmanas. And then there is Kshatriyas. Kshatriya's duty is to make sure that the 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 dharma is being practiced by all the different varnas. So they are the executors of the dharmas. They make sure that dharma is being rightly practiced. So they protect. If there is anything happening to the dharma, then Kshatriyas will protect. They will take up the arm. They will fight. And so, and then there are Vaishyas. Their Vaishya dharma is Krishi Goraksha Vanijya. Krishi means farming, Goraksha means cow protection, Vanijya means the Vepar or uh, what do you say, business. Today's language, business, mercantile activities. So now Arjuna is between two. So according to Kula Dharma, he should not have killed his elders, his superiors, his guru, his spiritual master, right? His grandfather. He should not kill them, because by doing that he is destroying the Kula Dharma. And then he also says what happened, the consequences he has already explained in the chapter 1, what will happen when Kul Dharma will be destroyed, right? Kula Dharma is needed for the social order of the society. So if Kula Dharma is destroyed, right, elders will be killed. There will be no one to check if the Dharma is being performed nicely or not. There will be no Pitra sacrifice. The women's will be not protected, right? So there will be so much unwanted population, Varna Sankara, right? So they will not know the real purpose of the life. They will not know the real dharma. So there will be confusion and chaos in the society. What to in that society there cannot be in happiness. And if there is no peace and happiness, how you can practice like a dharma in that situation, right? If somebody is attacking you, how you can practice dharma in that situation? But on other side is a Kshatriya dharma. So Kshatriya dharma is like if somebody is attacking you, like 6 kind of atatais we discussed in chapter 1. So you have to kill them. So that's Kshatriyas have that, you can say, the right and a duty to do that. But now Arjuna don't want to practice that. And also here we'll see, like, this is now ethical crisis. We are talking about just the moral choices on Kula and Kshatriya dharma. But we'll, as we deep down into Bhagavad Gita, we'll see the real dharma that Krishna is talking about is not the Kula dharma or a Kshatriya dharma or any other dharma or Raj dharma or whatever. He is talking about the highest dharma, the dharma of the living entities, the eternal dharma of the living entity. That he will talk. I'll not discuss that now, but we'll gradually see that that dharma actually is the bhakti, the devotional service. We'll see gradually how Krishna will expand on this point. So that was the overview of the chapter 2. Now I will read. We'll start now chapter 2, and we'll read the verse 1. I'll share my screen. Let me know if you see. So, chapter 2, verse 1. Sanjaya uvacha tam tatha kripayavistam ashrupuर्णाकुलेक्षणम् विषीदन्तम् idam vakyam uvacha madhusudana. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana Krishna spoke the following words. So now Krishna is, is speaking here. So we'll see that will come in the next verse. But let's read this purport. Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in discharge of his duty. So see how the beautifully Arjuna is using the words Madhusudan. and previously he was using Arisud, and like that there are so many nice words, so many names they are calling each other, and there is a meaning here as Prabhupada is explaining here. So please pay attention. No one no one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of knee signs cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Shudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and his conduct was not this conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of ignorant man, and for this purpose the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter instructs us in self-realization by an analytical study of material body and spirit soul, as explained by the supreme authority of Lord Shri Krishna. This realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in the fixed conception of real self. So I'll share my presentation. Going back. So key points we'll discuss from 2.1 purport. I'll go through them, then we'll expand it more, and let's understand it. Even if we do 2 or 3 verses, I'm okay, but as long as everybody is on same page, we're fine. But my intent is to cover up to 5 verses. I hope we can do that. So first of all, the Prabhupada uses the very important point that the ignorance, the signs of ignorance is the ignorance of the real self. So when one does not understand who he is, and he thinks something which he is not that as he, that is the ignorance. So when you think yourself as this body, the misidentification with this material body, that is the real ignorance. But when you understand that you are not this body, you are a spirit soul, dehino asmin yatha dehe, like you are living inside the body, that does not mean you are the body. When you live in the house, you does not become the house. When you live in the car, you are driving a car, you does not become the car, you are driving the car. In the same way, the soul is driving the body. But when you have a compassion, but you apply compassion only to the external body and forget about the real person, then that's a like a less intelligence. That's not a that's a ignorance. So here, like Prabhupada says, it's a Shudra mentality. So Shudra is not just a caste; it's also a quality. So when scriptures are talking about Shudra, it's not somebody is not Shudra by birth. One is Shudra or a Brahmana by the qualification, not by the birth. Brahmana as opposed to Shudra is large-hearted, is magnanimous, is charitable. So it's based on those qualities. So Shudra is somebody who is lamenting. So one who is lamenting for this body, outside body, is a Shudra. So if we are lamenting despite being taken birth in the family of a Brahmana, then a Brahman, that is also called Brahman Bandhu or a Shudra. In Kali Yuga, everybody is actually a Shudra because we are lamenting for external material activities, external material sense pleasure, which is for the body, which is like we are pampering the body, but we are ignoring the soul inside. So that's the analogy Prabhupada gave is like somebody is drowning in the ocean or a river, and another person comes and he saves the coat of that drowning person and comes, oh, I saved this person. Then another person will ask, what did you say? Oh, I saved this coat. Can we say that that person is intelligent? No. The same thing is happening now. Material society, we are trying to save the outward dress, which is this body. There are so many, you know, medicines, hospitals are opening, so many medicines are coming up, how you can stay healthy or young for longer. But all focus on outside dress. What about the soul? Prabhupada was once in Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and we are reading this Bhagavad Gita as it is translated by Srila Prabhupada in English language. So Prabhupada was once in in one of the big university of North America. There is asking, like, you are studying all these different you have all different departments of knowledge, but do you have any department of knowledge that studies the science of soul? And they were all mum. So the real person is the spirit soul inside the body, that we have to understand. And when we are talking about saving, we should talk about saving that spirit soul, which is like a big saving than just saving the outside body. But in a need of crisis, it may need it to save the outside body, to save, to, so that the inside soul can practice the dharma. That's needed also. Here this word Madhusudana is very, very, important. There were two demons, Madhu and Ketav. They stole the Vedas from Lord Brahma. So Krishna, he killed both Madhu and Ketav. And these Madhu and Ketav again appeared in the Ram Lila also, as Atikai and another person, I forgot the name. Madhu was Atikai, but anyhow. So Krishna killed this demon Madhu. So that's why Arjuna wanted now to. These doubts are also like a demon. Like, when you have doubts in your mind, you have to cut them. When you have a doubt, now I have one or two doubts, just clarify it right away. If not, then doubts keep on building, 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 and then your faith is, shackled. So once one have a doubt, let them be clarified. Here Arjuna is doing the same thing. He's asking Krishna, like, in the same way as you killed the demon Madhu, now you kill this demon of doubt which is arising in my mind, to choose between Kula Dharma and my, Kshatriya Dharma, which is the best. Like, I'm having all these symptoms. Krishna, please help. And this is the reason why Prabhupada says, like, Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Actually, Arjuna is an eternal servant of the Lord. He cannot fall into illusion. But they are playing this part so that us living entities who fall into this illusion, or who come to this trying situation, they can get out of this, lamentation. So this conversation, that's why Arjuna is asking on behalf of us these questions. And he's basically playing the part, playing in the Leela of the Krishna. So we saw, like, in the last few lines, Purport was talking about jnana. Jnana here means Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya means to count, or count means, in a sense, analytically study the nature of the body and the spirit. This is by studying 24 elements. That is called Yoga. There are two Sankhyas here. I will briefly talk about them. We'll discuss them more when we go to third chapter. There is one Sankhya which is leading to this analytical study of material body and spirit soul, to understand the realization of the self, which is given by Lord Kapila. That is called Sankhya Yoga, because there is a connection. There is another Sankhya which is also given by Kapila, but not the same Kapila as the Lord Kapila, but that was atheist Kapila. So here the Sankhya we're talking about is the theistic Kapila Sankhya, which is established by studying both this body, material body, and the spirit. We are understanding Krishna. We are understanding who we are. What is our relationship with Him? That is the process of self-realization. That's what it is teaches, and it's teaching us about the Buddhi Yoga or the Bhakti Yoga. Actually, Buddhi Yoga is not exactly Bhakti Yoga, because in Buddhi Yoga it's also called Nishkam Karma. There is a detachment from the results. But Bhakti Yoga is when you offer the results itself to the Krishna. That's one step further. So, any question on the verse 1?
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, so Kapila is in like Tirupati son, right?
Sorry, I hear you very low. I am just one second.
So Kapila Prabhu, right?
Yes?
Kapila Prabhu is Devati's son, right?
Yes.
And
Kapila is here. Here, Kapila, we are talking about the son of Kardam Muni and Devahuti.
who is other Kapila? Like the atheist we are talking about.
Other atheistic Kapila was a philosopher or a Gyani, but I don't
Yes,
know the name of
like
his parents. If somebody, maybe Yamuna Jivan Prabhu or anybody else,
same
Ashoka
in
Krishna Prabhu.
Lord Krishna period, or like it's in modern world.
No. That Kapila is not Lord Krishna. Only this Devahuti son Kapila, that is the Lord Krishna.
Okay, so the atheist you're talking about is the current material.
Yeah, like what I understand, like there is also one Kapila Muni,
Yeah,
and his name is same, but one preach the analytical study through like Bhakti Yoga, and other one he preached about the Mayavad philosophy and impersonalism. So
yeah.
since the name is same, it's likely that one get confused. So which one is Kapila? So then the one which we are talking about is the Kapila Muni who explained the Sankhya Yoga, and he was son of Devoti and Kardama Muni.
So
The,
both are in the Treta in
I
Dwapara.
hear you very, like I was hearing Yamuna Jivan Prabhu very clearly, but Venkat Prabhu, I find it very difficult to understand
Yeah,
you. Like,
so you hear me
can you
now?
speak little louder? Yes.
Yeah. So both are in Dwapara Yuga only, or like one from different
No, they are not in the same time frame. No,
same era? Okay.
no, they are not in same time frame. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So our focus will, like, both are studying even though the same material elements, but one conclusion is driving to impersonalism, other conclusion is coming to the bhakti, understanding the supreme authority of Krishna. For for now, let's understand it like this. Any more question on purport 1?
so just
So can you explain Sankhya little bit more?
So there are 24 material elements. Okay, there are 5 sense objects, there are 5 senses, there are 5 working senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Like we acquire knowledge through eyes, hands, ear, nose, tongue, and then there are working senses like hands, legs, genitals. Like that, there are senses, 5 sense objects, and then uh, there is a soul is there, right? So when you analytically study all these elements, and then that particular analytically study is called the Sankhya.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but I'll explain this Sankhya a bit more when we go to third chapter. We will
Okay,
take how they are, related, how we can
okay,
understand like more easily. I'll maybe put some examples and some charts.
okay, thank you.
Yeah,
so just that atheistic Kapila, right? He was a descendant in the Agni dynasty, and he was a conditioned soul. While the
right.
Kapila Dev, who is the son of Kardama Muni and Devavati, he is incarnation of God, Lord, so he is liberated soul. That's the difference between those two. So this Sankhya is from Lord Kapila, who is son of Kardama Muni and Devavati, which is in third canto of Srimad Bhagavad. It full chapter itself is on the Sankhya Yoga.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Are there more questions, comments on this verse? Okay. So one another point I would like to add here.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Yes.
small doubt.
Yes.
Actually, when you talk about sins, and at what age that children are considered to be responsible for their sins?
What age? There is in history there are incidences. Actually, before five, I may be wrong here. After 5, they are considered responsible. But in history, there are examples how There was one young girl. Uh, she one person, sorry, not young girl, one person, he committed offense in his previous life when he was a young boy, and because of that he has to suffer in his next life the sinful reaction.
So that
So
means
but the degree,
the
but
five.
one thing we have to understand is the degree of reaction is not same for everybody. It's not like black and white. For example, same sin is committed by somebody who is 5 years, or same sin is committed by somebody who is 25 or 30 years, versus same sin committed by a man, or in a particular varna and ashram, a particular responsibility, versus some other person in higher responsibility. The reaction is not same. So for example, somebody is very responsible person in the society, say a brahmana, or a king, then if he commit the same sin, then reaction he suffer will be more, because he is knowledgeable, he has the authority, he has the power. So the suffering that he will get will be more, even though the sin may be same. But somebody is really very very ignorant, then the reaction he will get may not be as severe as the one who is in knowledgeable getting reaction. But reactions will be there. It's like if the fan is turning, even if a child put his hand in the turning fan, even his finger will be cut. That's the law of the karma. Anybody know the exact age, or can we say even from the age one you are responsible?
I know is that generally it's age 8.
Age 8. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not 5, it's 3 more years you are getting. So it's age 8.
But what I have seen that even, let's say, if parents engage their kids
Hmm.
in the sinful activities,
Yeah.
right, because parents have their control, right, in the engage, so parents get most of the reaction, and child also will get, but less compared to parent. For example, uh, if a parent engages child in eating non-vegetarian or meat, so parents will get the reaction more
Yes.
compared to
Yes.
child. Yeah.
Very very good point. Yeah. The same thing as if, like, if I have to kill somebody, instead of me killing directly, if I pay somebody to kill it, that person is doing the sinful act. But the more sinful is me who is paying that person to kill that person. So same thing, the child is not knowing much, but if he is he's doing something out of ignorance, he is in the taken care of, the very nice point, Prabhu, of his parents, then the parents will suffer. In the same way, if in the kingdom the praja is not acting pious, then the king has to suffer. King has to pay the price. Because if praja does anything good, king get 1/6 of their pious credit. In the same way, when they do bad, then he also get their bad karma also. So anybody who is in the position of responsibilities, he has to suffer more, because he has those.
Prabhupada, he also gives one example, just like a thief is there. He is
Mhm.
going to get punished. He is going to get punished anyway. But then let's say a policeman is there and then he commits some thievery. So
Mhm.
for him the punishment is more. So same way.
Right. Does that answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, the age is 8. Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, 8 or 5, whatever.
But the effect again, it differs.
But the effect is, even though child may not get it, but parent has to be careful, or a teacher. That's why it says, scripture says, one should not become parents, one should not become mother, one should not become father or spiritual master. If one cannot deliver, they are dependent from the clutches of the material existence. So this human life is a lot of responsibilities. Like, we are very much responsible as against the animals who don't get the karma. Animal don't get karma, huh? We get the karma. And even demigods don't get karma when they are in heavenly planets. For to get the karma, they have to come here. Like when Indra, he was cursed, he came as a pig on these earthly planets, and he did not wanted to go back when the kingdom of heaven was empty. Anyhow, let's go further.
One more question I have.
Yes.
Could you please explain? You mentioned about Buddhi Yoga
Mm-hmm.
being Bhakti Yoga, a
Mm-hmm.
form of Bhakti Yoga, right?
I said Buddhi Yoga is a one steps towards the Bhakti Yoga.
Okay. And when we say it is as a path of realization which involves to work without attachment to fruitive results,
Right.
It's also a kind of karma yoga, right? When you
Ye-
work without
r-
attachment of results.
Right.
So then where does so what does buddhi yoga signify here? It's the intellect or it's the
Okay. So the karma yoga is, there is not much detachment from, aspect is there in the karma yoga, that you have to understand. Karma means action. You are doing the actions, you'll get those results. So you are attached to doing particular kind of activity, right? And there are many karma kanda processes are there in the Vedic scriptures. Like there is this particular puja, you do that, you get this much results. So that is not like there is no detachment from the result. There is attachment to the result. So that's why it's divided into two: sakam karma yoga and nishkam karma yoga. Both are karma yoga, sakam and nishkam. Okay, but you have to understand, one is the desire to get the result, which is sakam karma yoga, and another is not to get the result, or with the detachment, that is niskam karma yoga. The both are karma yoga because karma is involved in the action, but one is with a sense of attachment for the results. That's why he's doing that particular sacrifice, and another is he's not attached to the results that he will get. And buddhi yoga, this is also called buddhi yoga because it's one step higher, because you know anyways either a good result or a bad result, you will get the karma bandhan. Like if you get the good result, then you still have to enjoy that, the result of your action, and with the enjoyment also come the suffering, and while enjoying you may commit other sins also. So it's a cycle, it's a chain. Whereas when you get the bad reaction, that's everybody understand, like you do bad thing happen to you. But important to understand is, even if you do the good thing, even the so called good is not good, because it's also binds you into this cycle of birth and death. Our purpose is to get out of this. That we'll see how, because this buddhi yoga is because this has a little bit more intelligence. There is a detachment concept is there, because with detachment you are going one step further toward the bhakti yoga, because bhakti is a karma where you don't get the result. You don't get fruitive or material results which will give you good or bad result that will bind you. It will give you results, but that will liberate you. That is the difference in a nutshell. Does that clarify your doubt?
yeah, thank you.
Okay, we'll expand on these karma yoga, gyan yoga, and dhyan yoga, and bhakti yoga more as we go forward.
Then, Prabhu, just an extension to what you said. And
Yes.
is that how one identifies the right action in Karma Yoga, relating it to Bhakti Yoga?
So,
How
so
does one identify the right action, Karma Yoga?
how does one identify? Okay, let me rephrase your question. So how does one identify if
The
that
right
particular,
action in Karma Yoga.
yeah, that action that person is performing, is it right or not? That is your question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, now there are a couple of things to understand what is right and wrong. Something may be right in particular situations, may not be right in some another circumstances. For example, telling lie is sinful reaction, is sinful activity. But if you are telling lie to protect a cow, then you don't get sinful reaction for that, right? And if you are so now coming back specific to your question, the answer is like this. First thing, there are scriptures which will tell you what are the right actions, what are the wrong actions. There are clear guidelines are there. Then the further scriptures explains the activities of different persons in the past, how they have acted, piously or sinfully. So we learn from their example, and then we understand from other, persons who have purified intelligence, which are the sages. We do have association of sages around us. We do have some spiritual masters, so we take guidance from them. They help us understand what is right and what is wrong. So our material intelligence may not always help us get, or most of the time will not help us get the right course of action. To determine the right course of action, one have to consult one's seniors, one's spiritual master, scriptures, like that. So those are the three authorities: sadhu, uh, sadhu, guru, and scriptures. The three things: sadhu, guru, scriptures. Yeah, S triple S. Okay, does that answer question?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Okay, so now I'll read 2.2. Who can read 2.2? Somebody comfortable reading the Sanskrit? Okay, I'll read maybe Sanskrit then. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Kutastva Kashmalam Idam Vishame Samupastitam Anarya Justam Aswargayam Akirti Karma Arjuna. Can someone read translation?
Can you share the screen? That
Okay.
Yeah, just the sloga so that everyone can see.
Yep.
Translation. The Supreme Personality itself. My dear Arjuna, how have these inquiries come upon you? You are not at all competing a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher limits, but to insanity. Purport. Krishna and Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna referred as to as
Prabhu, there is a
Bhagavan.
lot of disturbance at your end, Venkat Prabhu.
It's not audible. Krishna, purport. Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna referred to as Bhagavan throughout the Gita. Bhagavan is the ultimate in the absolute truth. Absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding, namely Brahman, or the impersonal, all-pervasive state, Paramatma, or the localized aspect of the Supreme in the heart of living of all living entities, and Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam, uh, 1.2.11, this conception of absolute truth is explained as Vadanti Tattva Vidas Tattvam Yaj Jnanam Advayam Dhammeti Parame Iti Bhagavan Iti Sabhyate. The absolute truth is realized in these three phases of understanding by the knower of the absolute truth, and all of them are identical. Such phases of the absolute truth are expressed as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. These three divine aspects can be explained by the example of the sun, which also has three different aspects, namely the sunshine, the sun's surface, and the sun planet itself. One who studies the sunshine only is the preliminary student. One who understands the sun's surface is further advanced, and one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. Ordinary students who are satisfied by simply understanding the sunshine, its universal pervasiveness, and the glaring effulgence of its impersonal nature, may be compared to those who can realize only the Brahman feature of the absolute truth. The student who has advanced still further can know the sun is, which is compared to the knowledge of the Paramatma feature of the absolute truth. And the student who can enter into the heart of the sun planet is compared to those who realize the personal feature of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Therefore, the Bhaktas are the transcendentalists who have realized the Bhagavan feature of the Absolute Truth are the topmost transcendentalists. Although all students who are engaged in the study of the Absolute Truth are engaged in the same subject matter, the sunshine, the sun disk, and the inner affairs of the sun planet cannot be separated from one another. And yet the students of the three different phases are not in the same category.
Hare Krishna. Venkat Prabhu, maybe, thank you. So I'll ask now somebody else, maybe Dev Kumar, can you read? Dev Prabhu, can you read? Sanskrit word Bhagwan is explained from there onwards. I hope you're seeing my screen.
Sure, I can do that. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, please.
Yeah. The Sanskrit word Bhagwan is explained by the great authority Parasara Muni, the father of Vasudeva, a supreme personality who possesses all riches, all strength, all fame and all beauty, all knowledge and all renunciation is called Bhagavan. There are many people who are very rich, very powerful, very beautiful, very famous, very learned, and very much detached. But no one can claim that he possesses all riches, all strength, etc. entirely. Only Krishna can claim this because he is a supreme personality of Godhead. No living entity, including Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Narayan, can possess opulences as fully as Krishna. Therefore, it is concluded in the Brahma Samhita by Lord Brahma himself that Lord Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. No one is actual to or
Equal
above
to.
him. Oh, sorry, equal to or above him. He is a primeval Lord or a Bhagavan known as Govinda, and he is a supreme cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Yep.
Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Yeah, continue from there. There are many.
There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is supreme because none can excel him. He is a supreme person and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is a primeval Lord Govinda and cause of all the causes. In the Bhagavatam, also there is a list of many incarnations of supreme personality
Incarnations. Incarnation.
incarnation incarnations of supreme personality of Godhead, but Krishna is described as the original personality of Godhead, from whom many incarnations and personalities of Godhead expand.
Ete cham shakala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam Indrayari Vyakulam Lokam Murdayanti Yuge Yuge.
Mhm. All the list of incarnations of Godhead submitted herewith are either plenary expansions or parts of the plenary expansions of the Supreme Godhead. But Krishna is a Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Therefore, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, the source of both the Supersoul and the impersonal Brahma. In the presence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna's lamentation from his kinsman is certainly unbecoming, and therefore Krishna expressed his surprise with the word "Uttah," wherefrom such impurities were never expected from the person belonging to civilized class of men known as Aryans. The word Aryan is applicable to person who knows the value of life and have civilization based on spiritual realization. Persons who are led by the
Material.
material conceptions of life do not know that the aim of life is realization of absolute truth, Vishnu or Bhagavan, and they are captivated by the external features of the material world, and therefore they do not know what liberation is. Persons who have no knowledge of liberation from the material bondage are called non-Aryan. Although Arjuna was Kshatriya, he was deviating from the prescribed duties by declining to fight. This act of cowardice is described as befitting the non-Aryan. Such deviation from duty doesn't help one in the process of spiritual life, nor does it even give one the opportunity to become famous in the world. Lord Krishna did not approve of the so-called compassion of Arjuna uh, for his kinsman.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I will read 2.3 also because 2.2 and 2.3 are connected. So I'll read the Sanskrit. Klebyamma samagama partha natattvai upapadyate shudram hridaya dorbalyam taktvotishta parantapa. Translation: O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Purport. Is Gauri there, Yamuna Jivan Prabhu? She want to read?
Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Great translation. And then purport.
O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of
Chastiser.
the chastiser of the enemy. Purport. Arjuna was addressed as the son of Pritha, who happened to be the sister of Krishna's father Vasudeva. Therefore, Arjuna had a blood relationship with Krishna. If the son of Kshatriya declines to fight, he is a Kshatriya in name only, and if the son of acts
Brahmana.
Brahmana acts impiously, he is a Brahmana in name only. Such Kshatriya and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers. Therefore, Krishna did not want Arjuna to become an unworthy son of a Kshatriya. Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna, and Krishna was directly guiding him on the chariot. But in the spite of all these credits, if Arjuna abandoned the battle, he would be committing an infamous act. Therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude in Arjuna did not fit his personality. Arjuna might argue that he would give up the battle on the grounds of his magnanimous attitude for the most respectable Bhishma and his relatives. But Krishna considered that sort of magnanimity mere weakness of heart. Such false magnanimity was not approved by any authority. Therefore, such magnanimity, or so called non-violence, should be given up by persons like Arjuna under the direct guidance of Krishna.
Thank you. So we read 2.2 and 2.3. Let's see what's there. I need to share again this thing. A second here. I'm sharing my slides. Okay. So this verse 2.2 and 2.3 are very, very important because Krishna is using words like Kashmalam. He's surprised. Krishna is showing his surprise. Klebyam, like impotency. He's implying that. So the common theme between 2.2 and 2.3 is Krishna is really surprised to see Arjuna's lamentation because Arjuna was with Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now you imagine you are with Bhagwan face to face and then you fall in illusion. It's a very, it's it's Krishna, it's bad on Krishna's part that despite Krishna being there, Arjuna is confused or Arjuna is in lamentation. And then Krishna is also reminding him of his higher birth, like he was born from Pritha, sorry. So that's why he's called Partha. So he has a higher birth heritage, and it's not befitting for Kshatriya of his caliber. And he was one of the best archers of his time. It was not befitting for person of his caliber to fall into this lamentations. As you will see how Krishna will explain, like this does not suits you. Like this is a this only will bring you infamous. People, your enemies, they will say so many bad words for you. They will not consider that you give up this war out of compassion. They will think that you give it up because of the fear of losing in the battle, fear of dying. This is how, anyhow, that will come later on. But here specific Krishna uses the word arya, anarya. He uses a anarya justam asargyam akirti karma arjuna. Like you are, even though you are saying yourself, you're talking about like a arya, right? You are giving so many nice logical reasons, but actually you are an arya, because you think you seem to know the value of life. You're implying that, but actually you don't know the value of life. So that's why he's surprised. Krishna is saying, from where kashmalam these impurities have come into your heart? It's very surprising for Krishna. Kalebyam, and another very important word he uses in the verse 2.3, Shudra Hirdaya Dorbalyam. And then this Kalevya means impotency. I'll expand on this when we go down the line. Hridaya Dorbalyam is the miserly weakness of the heart. Out of emotion, you are too much sentimental, too much emotional. That time you feel weakness in the heart to take a decision. That's what it's implying here. Is a theme in these two verses. Key points. A lot of key points, very big purport for, especially for verse 2.2. Important point, Krishna is referred as Bhagwan. And Prabhupada quote a verse from Bhagavatam where how the absolute truth is like explained in three phases. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaniti, Shabjati. Brahmeti is as the Brahman effulgence, which is the bodily effulgence that comes from the Lord, or also the Brahma Jyoti. So realization of that personality of absolute truth is called Brahman realization. That's the first realization. Then second is the Paramatma realization, which is realized by the yogis in the heart. So when yogi can see the form of the Lord Vishnu 400 form, that form of the Lord, that is called the Paramatma realization. And the third realization is the realization of Bhagwan, or Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Sham Sundar form, the form with two hands, two legs, beautiful eyes, nose. That form is the form of the Bhagwan. So these three are the form of the same absolute truth. Vadanti tat tattva idam. Like this, Vadanti means speaking. Tat means that. Tattva. That tattva is explained actually if you go to this Bhagavatam previous verse, it's talk about that one should give up the material desires. Shonak Rishi is saying, and surrender to that absolute truth. So here is explaining what that absolute truth is. How is realized in this verse 1.2.11. Realized in three phases. Impersonal feature, like I said, which is like Brahman realization, like God is everywhere, or God in the form of light. That is his Brahman realization. And then Paramatma is one step further, like you see the Lord within the heart. Is not only everywhere, he's not only light, but he's also within my heart. And third, little more closer realization is he's not only everywhere or in the form of light, but also he's within the heart. On top of that, he is a person to whom I can talk, I can share, I can relate to, I can deal with, I can relate to with him as a friend, as a mother, as a father. So these are three different dealings with the same person. Example given is that of a sun, right? So sun, there is a sun has a light, so that is you can consider as the impersonal realization, the light coming from the Lord, or the effulgence coming from the Lord. That is the coming from his body, the bodily effulgence of Lord. That is the Brahma Jyoti, which is like the light coming from sun. And then there is a sun planet itself, so that is like a Paramatma realization. And Bhagwan realization is there is not only sun planet, but when you go there are living entities over there. You can see the persons. Another example is given that of a train. So once there were villages, they did not saw the train, they were seeing it for the first time. So first time they saw the light from the distance, so they thought train mean the light. You remember the old trains, they used to have a very big light in the front of the engine. And then the another person was thinking, oh, train means, he saw a little bit more. Train means this boogie and the engine and all that. That's it. He also left. Third person waited there patiently. He said, "Oh, train does not mean only light, only the boogie or engine. There are persons also inside. There is a driver who is driving the engine." So like that. I mean, there is none of this realization is wrong. Only thing is, it's the degree of completeness. So somebody who is attracted to the impersonal feature of the Lord, it's not that he is wrong. It's just the degree of completeness is not there. He understand even in impersonalism there are two aspects. One is Brahmavadis and another is Mayavadis. I will explain them in next class, but just understand these two terms, Brahmavadis and Mayavadis. So both are realizing the impersonal form of the Lord, but the difference between Brahmavadi and Mayavadi is like Mayavadi, they consider the form of the Lord as illusion. They think that they have this thinking that now we are in illusion, we are in Maya. But when you get out of this Maya, we can become as good as Bhagwan. So that's why they say they address each other as Narayan. So we are not Narayan. We are the servant of Lord Narayan. That's the aspect we have to understand. So this impersonal idea of, this Mayavad idea of impersonalism is eluding. But the Brahmavad idea of impersonalism, that's okay. That's fine because he's understanding only the light of the Lord. But then gradually, if he is more serious, he's a seeker, he will understand Lord as the Paramatma. And when he's further more serious, like Prabhupada says, the topmost transcendentalist is the one who not only sees these two features, but understand the third feature also. It's like you're knowing somebody, right? You know only one person in the office as your boss. So that is one understanding. But then his family members, they know him little bit more. They have more intimate connections. So if you don't want intimate connection with the God, you just want to consider him as supreme person who is judging you, giving you, rewarding you or punishing you for your actions. That's one way of dealing with the Lord, or by becoming God fearing. Another way is you can deal with the God as God loving, by intimately relating with him. How Mother Yashoda is relating to Krishna. She is feeding as a Krishna. He may be Bhagwan, but for her, he is my Lalla. He's my little child. So this definition of Bhagwan is actually given by Parashar Muni. Bhaga means the opulence and Van means one who possess. So there are many opulences. Six of them are being explained by Parashar Muni. And Lord Krishna is one who possesses all these six in complete. What are those? All strength, like all power, all beauty, all intelligence, all renunciation, uh, all beauty, and then all attractive. All renunciation, sorry, and all attractive. All these six things in completeness, the Krishna possesses. That's why he's called Bhagwan. There are many references were given in the purport, like Brahma Samhita was referred, how Krishna is the source of all, Ishvara, Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha. We had that verse. And then there was another verse quoted from Bhagavatam, Ete Chamsa Kala Prashna. Ete Chamsa Kala Ete Chamsa Kala Krishnastu Bhagwan Sayam. Kala Pumsham Krishnastu Bhagwan Sayam. Indarari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. So that's the verse. Like Krishna comes to protect the Indra and he comes to destroy the enemies of the Indra. Or others are the incarnation are the Kala or the Pumshas. So they are the parts or part of the Krishna. But Krishna is Swayam Bhagwan, he is the source of all these different incarnations. And then Aryan, like I was explaining, Aryan means the civilized class of man, one who knows the value of life. So our Vedic civilization is the civilization based on the spiritual culture, based on the process of self-realization. So that process when follows, that person is called Aryan. It's not just a particular name like these days says Aryan and Dravidans. Britishers, when they wanted to divide India, they said North Indians are Aryans and South Indians are Dravidians. It's not like that. Anybody who knows the value of life, that is Aryans. It's not like Hitler. He created another class called we with the green eyes and tall, we are the Aryans. And then they misuse swastika. That's not the right meaning of Arya. Arya means one who know the value of the life. Civilization based on spiritual culture. So here an Arya means one who does not know. Opposite of the Arya is Anarya. That's what Krishna is addressing Arjuna as Anarya Justam. So those, they are entangled in the material bodies. I'll just finish this. and maybe I expand a little bit more on this in my next class because I see time closing 5:30. I'm sorry I went little slow. So the result of non-Aryan act is infamy for a Kshatriya, right? So people will blaspheme him. Or what kind of Kshatriya he is? He gave up his weapon out of this, and then you will not get the progress to the higher planets. No spiritual progress. And then I already explained this word Kashmalam. I'll not talk about it now. And then the Kalebium is very important. As of son of Kshatriya, like Kshatriya means Shaurya, Yuddhe cha apalayanam. These are the qualities of a Kshatriya. Palayan means to run away, apalayan means not to run away. So Kshatriyas, they will never show their back to their opponents. They have the Shaurya, they have this chivalrous attitude. So Arjuna was born in a Kshatriya family, but now he is not exhibiting the qualities of the Kshatriya. He's showing impotence. So Krishna is like triggering Arjuna by saying this word impotent, because this is like he's triggering his wounds. Because when I'll just narrate this story and maybe there I'll end today's session. And if you will have any questions on this for 2.2, 2.3, and further 2.3 I'll cover in the next class. But I'll end with the story of impotency, how Arjuna was feeling. Really, it was to trigger the Arjuna, like impotency. So we remember when Pandavas, they were exiled in the forest for 12 years. They have to live in the forest, and then the 13th year they have to live incognito. They should not be recognized by anybody. So what happened is, Arjuna, he went to the heavenly kingdom to get the weapons and all that. So there he happened to saw Urvashi, and Urvashi was very beautiful, but Arjuna was looking at her not to with a desire to associate with her, but with a desire like, who is this lady with whom my great ancestor Maharaj Purarava associated with? So he was looking at her like a mother. But Urvashi, she was attracted to Arjuna, because don't forget, Arjuna was very beautiful, attractive, handsome young man, and she was attracted to Arjuna. She wanted to have intimate relationship with Arjuna, but Arjuna refused her. Now imagine, like, you are following your dharma, like the mother, you cannot have those kind of relationship. For doing that, Arjuna, instead of being praised, he was cursed. He was cursed by Urvashi that you will become eunuch. Cut the story short. Then Indra intervened, and then his curse was reduced to 1 year. And this is the curse that came to his rescue when he was in the Agyatwas, when he was in living incognito in the house, in the palace of Maharaj Virat. So over there, this helped him to act. So Arjuna was like eunuch for 1 year. So because he was that, so he could live incognito, he acted as a dance teacher. So for a Kshatriya, to live like this is very disgraceful, especially for Kshatriya of caliber of Arjuna. This is triggering his wounds. Krishna is triggering his wounds. Like, from where this impotency has coming up. And then the words like Anarya, you're talking of like a Arya, but you are actually Anarya. Where from? And showing the surprise, like, despite me being there, your mother being there, why you're showing Hridaya Daurbalyam? You are falsely showing your magnanimity by saying that you will protect Bhishma and Drona. How you can protect Bhishma and Drona? Because of taking the side of Adharma, they are already been killed. So this is in nutshell the summary of purport 2.2 and 2.3. I'm again sorry I went a little bit over time. So thank you. If somebody has short question, I can take one if agreeable to all. Otherwise, we can continue in next class.
Prabhu, can you explain a little more in the next class about sun's three aspects?
Not audible.
Prabhu, actually, I would want to what you explain a little more about three dimensions of personality in the next class.
Okay.
Okay. I did not quite get the question, but I'll talk you since you are saying next class only. I heard.
So
So
I got it.
okay, you got
Elaborate
it.
on Brahman. Paramatma and Bhagwan realization, more expansion or more on that
Yes.
in next class.
Yes. Yes. Sure.
And also maybe some examples you can take from our
Yeah.
current practice across different.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. All right. Thank you very much, and sorry for going over time.
Hare
See
Krishna,
you
Prabhu.
next
Thank
week.
you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Guru.
Hare Krishna.
क्या